Hey everyone, it's Anna Runyon, and today I am interviewing Love Your Career Formula member Josie Camacho. She is the Vice President in Private Client Group at City National Bank, but it hasn't always been that way. She has worked really hard in Love Your Career Formula, and her hard work paid off, which is why I wanted her here today. So welcome, Josie, and thanks for doing this with me.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Definitely. So what were some of those fears you had when you started your job search?
So, I think the biggest fear that I had was deciding where I wanted to be, where I wanted to live, whether I should stay in the career that I was. I mean, there was so many different jobs out there, and I was interviewing, and I was, applying to jobs, and I wasn't getting, any feedback. I got a lot of rejections, and, it was a little discouraging. So after a while, you start to doubt yourself, and you say, maybe I need to do something else, or maybe I need to look at this differently. And, when we decided that we wanted to relocate, that was a huge decision because, for me, personally, my entire family is in New York, which is where I'm from. And to leave them and to move to an entire different state, that was a big challenge. It was a big decision to make. So, and I was scared to death.
Yeah.
I was scared to move, but I was also scared about what everyone would think or what people would say, which is kind of why my husband and I, when we decided to do this, we said, let's keep it on the wraps until we know for sure, that we're going to go, that you have a job. And so it was challenging doing that and working my full-time job at the same time, and trying to just, keep going, in a job that I was not very happy, with. So
Right.
that was
And you were job searching in a different state too, and that's always very tough to do sometimes, or it's hard to think about doing that and follow through.
You don't really know what to do, and you don't know, there's not like an outline. Okay, this is what you need to do. It's kind of like you learn it. You read on a lot of things. I was doing the Love Your Career while I was, trying to do this as well. So I was just getting so many different ideas, and somehow it all. When I look back now, I'm like, oh, that all those things helped me get to, where I am right now in the beautiful sunshine state.
All those little baby steps.
Yeah, exactly. And you always said that, and I never really, I never really saw it until after. I'm like, these things that happened up until this point, they were all little steps. The big one was actually leaving New York and coming here. That was the biggest.
So what were you thinking before you joined Love Your Career Formula?
I was thinking, I was lost pretty much. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no idea. I just knew that I wasn't happy where I was. And I think I wasn't happy, not just in the job, but the job is such a huge part of my life that it, I guess, affected everything. So like, I wasn't happy anywhere. I wasn't happy at home. I wasn't happy, where I lived. I wasn't happy, and it was, I was a little lost, so to speak, and when I found your organization and your website, and I started, I have to admit, at first, I kind of was like, pretty cool. And, and it wasn't for a while before I actually started going into it and actually started following you. Listening to you speak and doing the modules, and then hearing other people, it really is work. Work is not a bad thing, I think. So, but it really is work. But yeah, but before that, I was completely lost. I didn't even know where to start. I had no idea what I wanted to do or where I was going. So.
And so that was one of the problems. You just didn't really know where to start with the whole job search.
No idea whatsoever. I mean, I've done job searches before, obviously, but nothing like this. I think I reached a point where I was like, okay, I need something big or something different, completely different to happen, for me to finally be happy. So
yeah. And you said too, it was kind of affecting your whole life too, like everything else you were doing too.
Yeah, and you know, it's not fair to do that or to say that, or but it really was. I just wasn't happy in everything, you know. I wasn't really, I didn't feel happy, you know. Not that, you know, I loved, of course, you know, my family, my husband, but there was always something there, like, I know there's more. Like, I know there's more. It's coming. I know it is. I hope it is. You know, you always hope for something. So.
Right. And when did you learn about Love Your Career Formula?
I think I know I saw it on Facebook, one of the Facebook ads, and I don't know, you know, I saw your picture and it said something about, you know, career and finding, you know, your purpose, and I said, okay, let me just click on it. It sounded really interesting, and once I clicked on it, and I went through, not to say, you know, but sometimes you go through these ads and you're like, I don't know if they're really legit or not. You know, you always have your reservations about that. But I went through it and I read up on you, and I was like, okay, this seems like a pretty, you know, legit. It seems like a good organization, and I wasn't really a part of anything, you know, to do with women empowerment, or I always wanted to be. You know, there was like a few organizations I tried, you know, but I never really joined anything. I never really committed to anything. But yeah, I know it was a Facebook ad, and I think it was about, it has to be like over a year ago, I think. I think I joined. I know you know. But I think I joined, and then I kind of didn't do anything, and then I kind of came back and officially joined. So it was like, that was my process.
So tell us about like that commitment, that decision, because that's the biggest part.
Yeah.
You joined, but you weren't really committed. So tell us about when you really made that decision to commit to Love Your Career Formula.
So the decision came to me, I guess, when so about a year ago, my husband and I had just come back from our trip. We like to go on cruises. So we went on a trip. And we had decided prior to that if we weren't happy, you know, in our lives or whatever at that point, that we were going to try and do something about it. We were going to do something different, you know, relocate to Florida. And at that point, my husband and I were like, okay, we're really serious. We're going to do this. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. So I think I had already joined Love Your Career Formula, or the classy Career Girl Network.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, all right, I'm gonna commit to this because it's not gonna hurt me. It's gonna help me. I know it is. I'm like, it can't, you know what I mean? Like at that point, even though I was kind of lost and I didn't know where to start, I'm like, this has to help me with what I'm doing, you know? So it was that point when I decided we were committed to doing this, relocating. I wanted to find my job, not just a job, but a great job.
Yeah.
I'm going to join this organization, and hopefully all of the things. I just had faith. It wasn't easy, and it's not always that easy to keep it. I know, you know.
I know. And I'm glad you're making that point too, because I don't ever want to make it look easy. So I'm glad you're.
No, it's not. It's really not. I may sound like it was easy, but it really wasn't. And I just said, you know what, I have to do something. So I think that was the point that, you know, it hit me, and I became committed, and I said, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pull through it. I'm gonna go through it, you know, and hopefully, and I'll come out at the end.
At least your job.
So, you know, it really is all about faith. Well, for me it is.
Right. So what did you think when you first joined Love Your Career Formula and got inside?
I thought it was so, I gotta tell you, the website, I'm big on like your profile and the way it's set up, and the, you know, the person who does the web design is really great. It's just so appealing to me, and it's just like happy, you know. So you go in there and you're like, wow, look at all this stuff. I'm like, I didn't realize, I'm like, you know, that there's actually like a plan or a process that you can follow to do this. You know, I mean, I'm a big planner, but I always do things too, like, you know, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and I'll just get it done. But to actually go into the website and the modules and go through everything, and you know, you're very clear, and you're very honest, and you know, you put it out there, and it's like, wow, this is amazing. This is great. Like, I wish I had this like out of college. You know what I mean? Because that's when so many people are lost.
I want this in all colleges.
I know. I'm
like,
like,
great thing.
if I had this right out of college, who knows where I'd be? Well, you know, it is what it is. But you know, to have it now, it's at this point in my life was absolutely, you know, perfect timing, I think. But yeah, it's very easy to follow. I love the fact that you make it like, there could be people in my situation that are way ahead of me or just started. Like, there's no limit, you know what I mean? For all of us, especially women that are busy in their careers with their families, it's like you have no time. But you know, you make it so that someone can do it in the morning, someone can do it during their break or at night, or or right now on their day off. It's like, that to me is super helpful and was super important about this, because it's like, if you don't have the time to do it, you have to have the time. I mean, you make it so that it's for everyone, which is what I loved about it, you know, which would have attracted me to it.
So did you follow the module step by step, or did you kind of jump around?
I tend to jump around. I did start following it step by step, and then I kind of stopped for a little while, and then I went back, and then I jumped around, and I'm still kind of like, I wouldn't say that I'm done. I don't think you're ever done. I don't want to be done, because I'm glad that you keep coming out with more things. Yeah, I sort of like, I did follow it, and then I kind of jumped around, but I did get like a lot of the things. I know one of the questions you had was like what I liked most about it. I got to tell you, I love that whole personality assessment thing. I mean, that was absolutely amazing. I mean, to actually find out about, I've done personality things before, but like to actually do this, it was like, oh my God, all of this is on point. This is me. This is exactly, I'm like, I guess I didn't know myself, you know, as much as I thought. And you really do learn a lot about yourself in this journey. And I think it's important, because I think it helped me, you know, it kind of, the whole thing about mindset, I got to tell you, I absolutely loved too. Like you said, change your mindset. That's just basically what you have to do. You know, the affirmations, I do them every day.
Awesome.
You see, I'm not lying. I made like a little book.
I love it.
And I cut out all your little affirmations, and I read them every single day, even when I was like ready to quit, and I just was like miserable going to work every day. And I read them every day, and I just kept on and on and on. And, you know, all of those things, Anna, I really gotta say, really were like my favorite things. And I go back to them. That's the good thing too. You can go back, you know, it's like, I'm done with this, but I'll go back just to refresh. I save everything, all the worksheets, all the activities you have, I have them saved, and I look through them. And it's like, I don't know. It could be overwhelming for some people, but I actually like all information. I like as much info as you can give me, and as much.
Well, we've got that.
Yeah, like for me, it's not overload. I absolutely love it.
That's awesome. So I love that you didn't just like learn, but you were actually taking action and doing things at the same time too.
Yeah, definitely.
So what do you think your life would be like now if you had not followed the Love Your Career Formula plan?
Well, I wanna hope that I would be on the right path somehow, but I think it would have taken me a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think eventually I would have found my way, but maybe not where I wanted to be. Maybe I would have gotten another job, and it just would have been another dead end thing, you know. But I definitely don't think I would be here. You know, I think if I did finally make it here, it wasn't going to be for a long time, you know. And who knows, maybe I wouldn't have gotten the right job. You know, I wouldn't have gotten that job that I could say, I actually like my job. You know, I do. I really do. I haven't said that in so long. It's like, it's such a good feeling to say that you love your job.
I know.
Yeah.
For sure. So tell us about then the results that you've had, all the good stuff.
Yeah. So all the good stuff. Okay. So like I said about my favorite thing, and I think was, I believe it was definitely a part of my journey and helped me with where I am, is to change your mindset completely. I can see, like, in the morning, I'll get up, I'll say what I'm grateful for, even if it's just like, within me, or as I'm driving to work, I'll say, I'm regardless of what's going on in my life, I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful for this job. I'm grateful for my marriage. Like I've never been like that. And I know it's because of this. Like it's almost like you trained your mind to, like, to wake up and say, you know what, no matter what's going on, just be grateful. That is like the best thing for anyone to do. I mean, at any point in your life, once you do that, I mean, let me tell you, things start to change. That for me was one of the biggest results. One of the best things that I think came out of this is that I feel like I'm more positive, and I mean, of course, being down here with having the sun and the palm trees definitely helps with your spirit, but it's also it's definitely one of the biggest results that I've gotten from this journey. The other thing too, like I said, I'm a planner, but I do tend to go all over the place too. And a lot of your modules and your teachings about planning and goal setting, I mean, I never did really sat down and did stuff like that before. And I'm still kind of learning. Like it really is, you really do have to learn how to do it and commit yourself. So I'm still working on that, but I am working on it. And that's something too that I know is helping. I mean, it really does, to actually look at your plan and what your goals are, and then to go back and say, oh wow, I said that was my goal, that was my plan a year ago. And because things change, so you need to, like, always go with the flow and change your plan as you go along, because things happen. But that was a big thing. The vision boards were awesome, by the way. Can I just say, I have a virtual vision board.
Oh, good.
On my Pinterest, but I also have an actual vision board. Like, I started it, so like a book.
Awesome.
It just has like a lot of things that that I want to strive for, that I would like to have someday. And but I gotta say that was a huge thing, and to actually have it in front of you, that's so helpful, because sometimes when you are having a bad day or a hard day, and you look at your vision board or something, you're like, oh, okay, I remember why I'm doing this. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. It's just, things happen. It's not always perfect, but when you look at stuff like that, you're like, this has all been worth it. So
exactly. Yeah, I can tell you're very, very positive. And
I'm trying. Yeah.
Because what you haven't said is that at the end of November, was it, that you got a new job in a different state?
I moved and I got my job and I came down here. Yep.
Yeah, and I remember seeing updates on the Facebook group from you, like getting the calls from the recruiter, and you leveled for the interview and did well at the
nervous. Yeah.
Great, awesome. And I mean, I can see now, talking to you, if I was interviewing you, I'm sure your positivity came through in that interview.
Yeah.
Whereas a year ago, when you hadn't been doing this stuff, it may not have come through. And so, not saying you weren't qualified for the interview, but I know if I'm interviewing someone, I want someone who's like happy and passionate,
Exactly. Yeah. I definitely was not this person a year ago, and it probably showed in some of the interviews that I did go on. And you're absolutely right. But it helped to have people out there, giving you some feedback and, saying, maybe this is what you should do. And I took that with me when I went on these interviews, and And I was reading my affirmations
Yeah.
right up until I walked into the office building, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. I really want this job, and you know, it worked. It worked. I gotta say, it really worked. Thank you.
What are you most proud of since you started?
Once I started the job, or the
just over this last year, like since you started Love Your Career Formula, what are you most proud of?
So I'm most proud of that I was able to take this initiative. I feel like my whole life I've always been kind of like, I'm very conservative, and you know, I'm very practical, but I'm just like, you know, you do things that feel safe, you know, and it's like this is safe. I'm gonna stay in my little world and my bubble. But I'm very proud that I actually got up the nerve finally to do something about my life in general. You know, my husband and I just were about to celebrate our 2-year wedding anniversary.
Wow.
We had just gotten married, and I'm like, you know, that was a big step for us. And then, you know, we moved in together, and then now we're starting our lives. And you know, I was at a point where I like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. I mean, if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. Things happen. It's not like I can never go back home, or I don't have people there supporting me, you know. So I was at that point where I said, I'm just gonna do it no matter what happens. And I think that I'm really proud of myself that I actually did something, you know, for once in my life.
Well, we're proud of you too, for
Thank
sure.
you.
Would you
Thank
have any final words of wisdom for someone just starting this journey?
Don't give up. I know it's hard. It's gonna be hard, and sometimes it's with all life that's coming down on you, it's just gonna, you know, beat you down, and you're gonna want to give up. But I'm telling you, don't do it. Just go for it. Go for it. You know, you have one life. You have one life to live. So I say go for it. No matter what people say, just go for it.
Josie says it and Anna says it. Let's go do it. They're sick of hearing it from me, so now you say.
No, I'm never sick of hearing it from you.
Well, thank you so much. I think this is going to be inspiring for a lot of other women. So thank you so much, Josie.
Thank you, Anna, for having me. Thank you.
Of course.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.